Good morning. Take two. It's 1:45 midday. Welcome to my channel. I am Amanda, the Stitching Panda, and this is a channel about cross stitch. Very occasionally there will be other crafts. My last video I did have another craft, not this video. This video is purely cross stitch. I stitch a variety of things. I stitch some full coverage, I stitch small things, I stitch fancy ladies, I stitch seasonal, I stitch whatever I like the look of. I am a process stitcher, as in I am not all about the finishes and things. It's nice to get finishes, don't get me wrong, and I do stuff that gets finished on occasion, but that's not my main aim of this hobby. I just really enjoy the process of stitching. I will stitch on something just because I like the look of it. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that will go on my wall. In fact, I've got very little stitching up on my walls at the minute. It is one of those things where I keep meaning to do, but there's a lot of things that I will stitch just for the pure pleasure of stitching them, because I like the colours or whatever. I am not, they go into a box under the bed and where they go from there is anybody's guess. So yeah, I stitch on Ada. I have stitched oh, I have stitched on even weave and wibbly wobbly linen in the past. I'm not great with that. I did enjoy it. I liked the feel of stitching on even weave, etc., but it got to the point where I made too many mistakes. So going over 2 was fine, no problem with it, but you see, when you just make that one little off too far or whatever, yeah, and it got to the point where I was avoiding the projects that were on even weave, and I thought, I think I need to make a change here, and that's what I did. So I don't know why I've gone off on that. It's like a mini introduction, isn't it, to me? Oh well. So yeah, that's me. That's why I stitch on Ada, because I enjoy it the most. And I enjoy stitching. So it is my favouriteest thing next to pandas. What else? So I would like to welcome all my existing subscribers and any new ones that happen to come along. If you have just found me just randomly and you like what you see, please give a like and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. For no other reason than just it's nice to share things and to have the interactions and stuff in the comments. I have been managing to keep up-ish with my comments. This last fortnight was very busy, so I was quite late on getting round to replying to everybody, for which I do apologise. It's just been a fortnight. So so what shall we, have I done everything? Is that it? Oh, I've not said the date. It's Thursday, August the 14th. I usually do these on a Wednesday, but I was otherwise engaged yesterday, which I will discuss at the end in live. So I couldn't do it yesterday or Tuesday. I did think maybe I'd get it done the day before, but no, somebody else had other plans. Again, that will be discussed at the end. So yeah, I'm doing it today. Tom is off to work. I am home alone. And it's August the 14th. So tomorrow is August the 15th. And that's Tom's birthday. Yay! He is going to be the same age as me for a little while. He's going to be 56 tomorrow. We'll be the same age for about 2 months. So, yeah. Okay. Shall we get going? I think we'll get going. What I'm going to start with is I'm just going to run through my stats for July. I don't do lots and lots in the way of stats, but I do a little. So in July, I managed to stitch every single day, so there was no non-stitchy days. I worked on 6 full coverage projects. I had 9 new starts and 6 finishes. And I worked on 20 projects in total. I think that's what I mean with that. I don't always understand what I've put in my things, because sometimes, you know. And my total number of stitches, my focus piece is my Wooey piece, which any regular people will know. He isn't featuring today because I haven't stitched on him in the last fortnight. So if you want to see him, you'll have to go back to the last video. But I did 2,548 on him last month in July. And I did a total number of stitches of 13,324, which I'm quite pleased with. I don't count my back stitch. I don't count the project that I work on at my friend Elizabeth's on a Monday. I forgot to take an up-to-date picture yet again of that project. So hopefully next week, maybe possibly I'll remember and I can show you it on my iPad. And what else don't count? Oh, any stitches that I do on any stamped pieces, because I tend to colour complete on those and I'm all over the place, so it's no, we're not. So that's the stats for July. I'm gonna say now, I apologise for the fact that I am probably, I'm not gonna say I'm glowing or perspiring. No, I'm sweaty. It's not good. It's not good today. It is, and to some people this will sound pathetic, but it's 24 degrees at the minute outside. In here, because I'm in the eaves of the house, up in my craft room, this is the eaves, and I think it's about 60 odd degrees. The thing feels like it's, I'm in the middle of a sauna or I'm in the middle of something not good. My hands are swelling in the heat because they get too hot, and I'm too hot. We don't have air conditioning. Not fun. I think it's meant to cool down tomorrow, I hope. Not much, but a little bit. So yeah, and I've had to close the window because the traffic noise, the lorries and that going by, and any loud cars going by, or just the stuff outside is too noisy for the video, I think, personally. So yeah. Right, so shall we stop moaning about the weather? Me being British and all that, it's what we do best, is moan about the weather. And this British girl moans about the weather a lot. Right, let's get going. I've got notes. I will be looking down at my notes. I have got, it looks like I'm so, well, I would say it looks like I'm so organised, but there's also a lot of chaos and stuff around. It's not fantastic, I have to say. I'm not the neatest person, and yeah, it's a good job you can't see what I can see. But I do have my journal, my thingy that I keep everything in. I've got my notes that I've taken for this video. I've got my iPad to show you some bits later, and I've got my pile of projects here. So, and there's an awful lot else, and there's my coffee, iced latte. So let's get going. 11 minutes in, and we're finally going to show you some stitching. And the first thing I'm going to show you is a saff, a start and a finish. This is all in order as it went through my, I went through my diary of wide stitch, so it is in order. So I had a bit of a, I'm wanting to do some Halloween stuff, and do some bits for Rachel's boys for their Halloween decorations. And this is on the monthly subscription from Shannon Christine Designs, and it is a Halloween tree. How absolutely cute and adorable is that? I stitched this on a piece of 14 count Ada that I hand-dyed myself quite a few years ago now, and it's slightly more orangey than it's showing up there. I picked out threads, roughly the colours, from a bag of unnumbered, probably DMC threads, but unnumbered. And that was done, did I get that done in one day? I think I did. I got this done on the Wednesday. I must have started this after my last video, and I finished it that day. It was 434 stitches in that, so it's super cute. So that's that one. Where am I going to put things? Put it there. Then I stitched on, because it was still July and I didn't want to make a start on my August plans. I decided I would do a little bit more on my Mill Hill kit, Angel Gathering. And I got 351 stitches done in this, and again colour completing these. It's all done on the perforated paper. Is that better? Yeah. And all the kit stuffs. Really enjoying stitching on this once I got going again. So we'll get all the cross stitching done, and then the beading will start. And I like beading, so. And that was 351 stitches that I did in that one. So that was the last of the stitching for July. So now we're on to August stitching. During August, I have been stitching on my 30 minutes a day project, and I managed to do 6 days on this out of the 14, which is not great, but there are reasons. So, and I'll explain those obviously later on. But I did get 651 stitches into this, and this is a kit by Pin, and it is A Wonder of Christmas. And the reason I was doing 30 minutes a day was because of that border. I wanted to get that border done without feeling of all that kind of ecru-y colour that it is. It's not ecru, but it's like that. So I got the border done, but I thought about it, and on here, I don't know if you can see, the border at the bottom is quite deep, and it says on the bottom, "May the wonder of Christmas ... be with you forever." And I thought, I don't need that on the bottom, so I'm not going to have that on the bottom. So that was 3 whole rows that I didn't have to do. I just matched the depth of it to what was at the top and the bottom. So I'm hoping that this is showing up better. Let's see if I put my light on. Is that better? Or is that just going to cast a bit of a shadow? I don't think that works, does it? There we go. Oh dear, I'm not doing very well today. All creased and everything. I don't iron until the end. So as you can see, I finished the border. I've put in the yellow bits around the edges, one of the yellow colours, and I made a star on the corners, putting the little holly bits in. So I had carried on working on this 30 minutes a day, even though I'd done the border, and I thought, yeah, I can keep going doing this. But then because of circumstances, that's kind of gone a bit awry, and now I'm having that issue of, failed that then. Failed that. I've not managed to keep up with me 30 minutes a day on that every day, because I was going to do that one until it was finished. If you remember in the last video, I think I mentioned that I thought I would probably just keep up with that. So I don't know. I might go back to it. We'll see. We'll have to see, because it's a bit, this video just seemed very dark, doesn't it? I hope that, I don't think that's going to help any. Well, maybe it will. What happened there? It came and then went again. I'll leave it on. We'll see. So yeah, I'm a bit, what? Because there's days where I have a run of days where I'm like, yep, manage that, but then I get the days where I've not got quite as much time, and I know it sounds daft, but I don't want to waste the couple of hours I've got doing half an hour on one little bit and then only have an hour and a half on another one. I don't know. It's a little bit of a, finding what works for me can be a bit of a struggle. So anyway, that is up in the air at the minute as to whether that will get back onto the 30 minutes a day, or whether it will just join the rest of the projects and come out whenever it gets on my wheel, or I don't know. I'll have a ponder on it and see how we do. So the next project was my monthly project of my Doreen Jones cupcake of the year. And this is it here. I've done mine individually on 18 count little bits of 18 count Ada that I got, oh God, I don't know how many years ago, many years ago. I got a pack of it that came in, and they were all like, this is some there, they were all cut. And I've still got lots left. I don't know. Anyway, it's 18 count, and it's really handy for things like this. So, here we go. This is August's. And it is done. This was 986 stitches, not counting the back stitch. I didn't change anything on it. It wasn't until I was putting on the back stitch and really concentrating that I realised that these at the bottom are shells. But this also was for my I Spy prompt of something you see at the beach. So, shells, beach hut, sunshine, that ice in there is meant to look like sand. This ticked a lot of boxes for that. So, yes. So that's that one done. So there's only 4 to go. Just 4. It is mind-boggling. It really is. I'm trying to put these all back in the right order because, you know, that's what we do. So that's that one now until September. So then I stitched on, oh no, it is that one. I stitched on my August freebie. This is the other thing that I do every month. I have an envelope, 12 envelopes at the start of the year, and each envelope has the number on the front, as in 1, 2, 3, 4. And there is a freebie, a magazine freebie in each envelope. I don't know what's in each envelope. I've got Tom to do that. And I use the Tiny Decisions wheel to spin a different number each month, and whatever one it picks, that's the one I stitch for that month. And so far, so good. This is working. So this is possibly going to be something that I do next year. Is anybody else thinking of what they're going to do for next year? I am already starting to think of my plans for 2026. I'm so looking forward to seeing. I've heard, is it Fun with Cross Stitch, Sharon? I'm sure I heard her say that she was already starting to think for next year's, and she was going to do a video. And who else was there? Did Stitching with Nessa also say the same? Possibly. And I know Kim Hollenbeck, she generally does one as well. So yeah, and Stitching Mommy. Oh, and Stitching Mommy, temperature piece for next year. I wonder what that's going to be. I would have loved to have done the one that she did for this year, because it did look really nice, but I'm not going to set myself up for a failure on that, because it's specialty stitches, and no. No. So I opted out. But anyway, back to what I was on about. This is the August freebie, not including the back stitch, which I did in places wing it. And this was the one. It was a penguin singing. It is so cute. It goes into this little aperture card here. So it's obviously a Christmas one, so it will be gifted as a Christmas card to somebody. So, very pleased with that. So that will go into my pile of freebies that is needing finished. And I've not pulled for next month yet, but I might do that after this. I might. So that was 686 stitches in that. I don't know if I said that. So then my next project was, hold on a minute, let me just get this, because I don't need that bit. There we go. Saucy Girl Pandemic. This was for the I Spy in Stitching by the Shore, Laura's group. And it was for the prompt Something That Stings. And this is the one. And this has bees on it. So, Something That Stings. And I got 546 stitches, but I actually did, how many things did I do? I did 4 motifs. Sounds impressive. It's not. There we go. The motifs that I got done were the bee thing, this thing here, the tree, and the owl. But there we go. For this, I have to finish just this little bit down here of the border and bring the border across here. And I think that's the first page finished then. Oh, and the door. Fill the door in, but I think that's down on the next page anyway. So yeah, this is being done on a piece of 20 count Aida that I coffee dyed myself. So, and I am using the called for or suggested threads with some alterations for the border and the flowers and things and that, because I wanted to use some of my fancy stuff. So I did. So I was pleased with that because we're getting a bit closer to having a page finished. And I'm pleased with how it's looking as well. So that was 546 stitches. Then the next one I worked on was for the I Spy prompt of something in timeout or that doesn't get worked on very much. Now this one, it's the cutest thing. But when it was a new year, new start, and when I started it, and I made a mistake in the flowers, I miscounted, which, you know, ridiculous. And it kind of made it difficult when I pulled it out next time. Oh, Claire. It is from Flossy Fox Shop. And it's Springtime Magic. It's so cute. I have all of these because, you know, I like a series. So I've got summertime, autumn magic, and I've also got winter magic somewhere. And I'm going to be stitching all of them, she says, with determination and hope. So here we go. I got 265 stitches in on this, and it was in the dragon. I got the clouds done and more into the dragon as well. So, and I think these yellow bits here, because they were in the dragon tail. Yeah. And this is being done on a piece of 14 count Ada that I hand dyed a while ago. I had a day where I went a bit mad and just got out all the odds and sods and just had a mass. Let's try that, let's try that, let's try that. Ooh. And they turned out quite well for the most part. So, then I stitched on my stamped project briefly. It is Donkey and Doggo. I don't know what its actual name is, but that's what I call it. And I can't really show you exactly, but I'm basically filling in one of the symbols, and it's a grey colour in the donkey's head. So I am just working my way. It looks so much better on screen like that. But it's getting there. Slowly catching monkey, and this is the back. Woohoo! Look at that. There's some long strings carried over there. So that was that one, stamped kit. I worked on that. I was trying to think, when did I work on that? And I've worked on it twice. And one of the times was when I was looking after Finn and Wyatt, the grand boys. That was last week. And I worked on it a couple of days ago. Back in. So, obviously I didn't count the stitches on that. Then the next thing I worked on, it was a new start. It was for the Magazine Monthly Challenge group. The word this month is linen, and so this covered an N for new start. It also covered the I Spy prompt for orange, because two things. It's stitched on a very orangey piece of fabric, and it's got oranges in it, as in colours. And it's the Halloween bouquet, as in bouquet. Again, this is one that's from the monthly subscription on Shannon Christine Designs. And I picked out the colours out of my bag of stuffs. So it's not as charted, but it's probably near as damn it. And I'm so pleased with how this turned out. And this was 685 stitches all in all. So that will be a little ornament for Finn and Wyatt to put up come Halloween time. So, my next bit of stitching is this one, Winter Fox from the Cross Stitch Studio. We've finally made a start on our football stitching. I'm basically calling mine, well, Foxes Never Quit, because that's our motto. The Foxes Never Quit for Leicester City Football Club, because our mascot is a fox. Filbert Fox, actually. And foxes for the stitch. Instead of foxes for the win, foxes for the stitch. So if they win, I get 100 stitches in. If they draw, it's 75. If they lose, it's just 50. Each goal is worth 25 stitches, and a clean sheet bonus is 50 stitches. And they played their first game of the season on the 10th of August, and we won at home. We won 2-1 against Sheffield Wednesday. So that adds up to, I think, 150 stitches. So here we go. This is being stitched on a piece of 20 count Ada 1/1 full cross, and you can see exactly my 150 stitches, this here and these, and that's exactly what I did. I did 150 stitches. So yeah, pleased with that. B-bars. Fingers crossed that's not another accident, because there has been quite a few of late in and around the Murray area, which is not good. So yeah, that was for my foxes for the stitch stitch along, which was inspired, or not even so much inspired, but absolutely taken almost wholly from Kim Hollenbeck's gridiron stitch thing. I don't understand American football, so I can't do that one. So I adapted it to fit the one I kind of understand. So the next and final project to show you is a new start. This was for a magazine monthly challenge. It's for the letter N, and in I Spy it was for has multiple layers. Now I maybe have stretched it just slightly for that one, but this is from Lena Over, and I checked out her charts because I saw Laura's projects that she's doing from her on Stitching by the Shore, and when I saw this Narnia sampler, I thought I have to do that. Now, as you can see, we've got Mr. Tumnus's lamppost there, you've got Aslan, these quotes and things, and the border is, ooh. Now I did think, shall I just do what's inside? And I mentioned that to Tom, and he was like, oh no, the border's really nice, do the border as well. So he would say that. Shouldn't have asked him, should I? But no, I do really like the border. So I just thought, yeah, okay, we'll do the border as well. And that's what we're doing. I'm doing mine on a piece of pink 18 count. It's a light pink 18 count Ada. And I am using, oh no, I can't remember what it's called. It's a Silks for You colour, but I can't remember what the code for it is. I'll see if I can find that out. But I got in altogether for my new start 447 stitches. And there we go. I did this bit first, and then I decided I was going to work my way across the top there to get to the other corner. And that might be what I do, and then go down so that I've got the whole of the very outside bit done, and then I can know safely that it's all there, and then work on filling it in. Hopefully you can see the variegation on that. It is a Silks For You thread, and it's a whole hank of it, and it should be enough. I've counted and counted, and there should be plenty. But this is the colour here. It is beautiful. It goes from a purple through to a pink through to a blue. It's gorgeous. So yeah, that is what I am doing with this one. So that's that now officially started. So that is the total of my stitching this month so far, this last fortnight. Now that has amounted to 4,416 stitches, which is quite a bit less than the previous 2 weeks. But hey ho. It's been a busy fortnight. So, what have we got for next bit? So, Flosstubers that I have watched are all the usual ones that I watch on a regular basis. I am starting to lag a little bit and keeping up with it because it's been a busy fortnight, as I've said many times. But new to me ones that I've watched was Diana Bloom Designs and What Nadine Made. Now, as you'd imagine, Diana Bloom Designs, she does design charts. And I think if you go to hers, you'll be able to follow to where she's actually, there's a freebie or 2 that she's got. And What Nadine Made, she's from the UK, and she's a multi-crafter, and she's doing some cross stitch now as well as lots of other things. Like she does dressmaking and she does crocheting, and just she's a multi-crafter. So very good. I enjoyed her video, or videos. She's got a few. TV wise, I finished the Darby and Joan series on You, or the 2 series. I finished those, and it's all set up for series 3 whenever that comes out. I found that a really easygoing kind of almost like he's a retired policeman. It's Australian, and he's a retired policeman, and she's an English lady that's gone over to Australia to find out why her husband was there. He died, and he wasn't where he said he would be. He said he was in Spain, but he was actually in Australia, and she didn't know why, so she was investigating why. But it's just a really nice kind of gentle police type drama-y thing, easy going. And then I've watched a series. It's like a history documentary about Lady Jane Grey, who was a queen in England for just nine days, I think it was. But the interesting thing for me is the fact that Lady Jane Grey, actually her family home was at Bradgate Park, which is in Leicestershire, and it was a haunt of many people who live in and around Leicestershire, going up there during any time, summer, autumn, whatever, and having a nice walk through the park, because it was donated to the people of Leicestershire by the owner, 1900 something, I think. And the house, it's in ruins, but you can go in on certain days. Certain parts of it have been preserved, and you can go in, and it's really interesting. But it's a lovely park, and they've got deer there, and there's lots of bracken and ferns, and it's just a really nice place to go for a nice walk, gentle walk. It can be a gentle walk if there's a pathway that's just straight the way through, or you can go up and around, because there's a few like rocky outcrops and things that you can go and walk around and stuff. It's lovely. It really is lovely. A lot of happy memories being there as a kid, that's for sure. So it was interesting to watch that. And then that obviously then they put up, you might also be interested in. So I watched about King Charles the First, downfall of a king, and I'm now on Charles the First to kill a king, because he was the king that was beheaded. So I'm watching that at the minute. I have two bits of haul, two digital charts, because watching people on Flosstube, and what happens, you end up being sucked into, let's see if we can, so I've seen this one stitched a few times and I just love it, and I do love Tiny Modernist. Oh, let's see if we can do this without the usual iPad glare. There we go. The Twilight Moon. So I got that one, and also, now I can't properly remember who I've seen that started this. It might be Alara. I'm not entirely sure. But it's the Christmas Village set. I really like the idea of doing this. And I think looking at it, the way they're put together, it's just basically like a biscornu. And I can do a biscornu. So, yeah. That's what I bought. Shouldn't have, but I did. So that's that for all the stitchy kind of content. And that it's now life update, and as I said in the last video, I'd got a very busy couple of weeks up and coming, and that's exactly what happened. I had my double shifts with work because the other cleaner was off, so I had her shifts to cover, and it was the Keith show. The Keith Country show was weekend just gone, so Tom was very busy all last week with, getting stuff ready for that, because that's part of, he had a stand at the show, plus he's the main sponsor for the show. I took Anne-Marie and the girls up on Sunday to have a look round. It was very busy. I'm not a massive fan of all those people. But, you know, go up and show support and have a wander round. It was good. And the girls had an absolutely brilliant time, and it was lovely to see them enjoying the showies, as they call them up here, the fair rides. And also Rachel and Scott were there with Finn and Wyatt, so that was great. I looked after Finn and Wyatt last Friday for the day. That was a an almost 4-year-old and an 18-month-old. Oh, yes. I was busy granny that day. But it was fun, and there was quite a few fun things, you know. One of the things, Finn was... we were tidying up. We were getting things tidied because it was almost time for Mum and Dad to come home, and then it was time for their dinner, or supper time as they call it. And so we were tidying all the toys away, getting ready for Mum and Dad coming home. And I had put a couple of the toys, it's like a little a push along and a ride along car thing, and this other thing, I'd put them where I thought they went. And Finn goes, no, Granny, no, Granny. And then he, like this, and he moved them and got them sorted. Thank you. And then we were getting other stuff, and then I came back and Wyatt was dragging them out, and I said, oh, Wyatt, thank you, let's put this back. Granny's already tidied this away once. And Finn went, no, Granny, I did it. It's like... Oh, God, they're just so funny, aren't they, at that age? Oh, he's quite right. He did it. It weren't me, but... Oh, dear. So, yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. And then, let me see. Yeah, then Anne-Marie was due, because Anne-Marie had a section with her last baby. Oh, sorry, I'm forgetting that there might be new people. Anne-Marie is my daughter-in-law, my son's other half, and they've got 2 girls, Alice and Lily. Lily was born just before lockdown in 2020. I'm still convinced that they decided, they knew what was up and coming, and because she was due at the very end of February, they, right, let's get this one out beforehand. So she was born on the 6th of February, and they induced her, and it didn't go to plan, and she had to have an emergency section. So she was pregnant with her 3rd, and the doctor said that she would have to have a section again because of the type of section, that the cut that they use, because there's different ones apparently, for the last time meant that she had to have a section this time. There was no option. She could not go into natural labour. It wasn't safe enough. It was too dangerous. So, okay, the last time she was under the care of Aberdeen Hospital, but this time it was closer to home. It was Elgin Hospital, who haven't had a maternity unit for quite some time, but they were getting their maternity unit up and running again. And for emergency sections they can't do, but they can do planned, and the planned ones are on a Wednesday. It's the only day they do them. So they had planned that she would have her section on the 6th, Wednesday the 6th of August. Baby was due today, the 14th was his due date. which would be, what is that, 40 weeks. So he would have been 38 weeks when the section was planned for. This is relevant, I promise. Which was all fine and fair enough. And then when she went for, because she's had weekly appointments for the last probably 6 odd weeks, and she went for her appointment a couple of, well, it was before the 6th, so anyway, they said, oh, well, we're going to put you in for the 13th, August the 13th. We don't like to do sections before 39 weeks. We like 39 weeks. Okay, fine. But then the next time she had an appointment, it was a different consultant because her consultant was on holiday. And this consultant was from Aberdeen. And this consultant read through her notes and said, you should have had your section by now. It's in your notes that the previous doctor advised that you should go no longer than 37 weeks in any subsequent pregnancies. And she's like, I'm booked in for the 13th. Anyway, made no difference. So it was still scheduled for the 13th, still scheduled for the 13th. And we were all set for that plan. And then on Monday night, on the 11th, little Thomas decided that actually I'm not waiting for the 13th. I think I want out now. And she went into natural labour. So she went to Elgin, who said, no, we can't deal with that. An ambulance blue lighted her to Aberdeen. I had to leave work and we rushed over because we had to look after the girls. And Thomas headed off following the ambulance at one point. And the upshot is everything is fine, but it really could have not been. I'm quite annoyed about the fact that it was allowed to get to that point. It shouldn't have got to that point. It could have been very, very different outcome for both of them. So, yeah. But he was born. They still, even in Aberdeen, they still said, well, we'll just keep an eye, And if things just get to, then we'll have to, but we'll have a meeting tomorrow morning. He wasn't waiting for that meeting either. So he was born at 12 minutes past 7 on the 12th of August. So, yeah. He is £7.7 ounces. He's a gorgeous little boy. Very content so far. Touch wood. Long may that continue. She's home. She came home yesterday. They were struggling for beds anyway. And yes, she's just had a section. But she wanted home and yeah. So I will show you. I've got pictures. I have permission. I've asked if that's okay because, I would ask. And here he is. Let's see if I can... And there he is. Oh, he's so cute. Little Thomas Gordon. There is a Thomas in every generation. And this is the other Thomas's. That's my partner Tom. That's my son Thomas, who I now call Tom. And little Thomas. Oh, it's got confusing. But the three Thomases. Tom's papa was a Tam. He was a Thomas, but they called him Tam. Then he had a son who they called Tommy, but again, Thomas. And then there was Tom. And then we had a boy, so we carried on that tradition of Thomas. And then our Thomas decided to do the same. So we now have another Thomas. So it's a family name. It's also a name on my side of the family. Not one that's been passed down or anything, but we do have Thomases in my family way back. So yeah. Very, very proud granny of 5 now. So yeah. So I think that's everything. I think that's all my news. So it's 1:45. We've been an hour. So we're now into the afternoon. So what are my plans for the coming fortnight? I've got quite a few things still in for my prompts and things, because obviously I've not got as much stitching in as I would normally get, because I've been busy, because it's been so busy, and because of the weather as well. I can't stitch as well when I've got swelling up hands and I'm hot and it's sticky and just it doesn't go as well as it usually does. So I've got quite a lot of things that are in my basket for my prompts. I've still got my wooey piece to work on. I've not done anything on that yet this month, so I need to get some of that done. So that really is the plans for the coming 2 weeks, which will take us to, so if I go back to Wednesdays, that will be, it'll be the end, towards the end anyway, the 27th of August. So yeah, that will be when the next video is, in theory, because, you know, life happens, doesn't it? So, but we'll see. We'll see. I've got all this stuff to work my way through for my prompts and that, and I think I'm still doing okay with that. I thought maybe I was having a bit of a, I'm not really feeling this at the minute, but I think it's just been because it's just so, everything's just been so, and I don't do well with that kind of, when life is so upside down like that. I'm a plodder. I like to, you know, the occasional is okay, but as a rule, in general, I like things to be quite structured. Even though my house isn't structured, none of that is structured. I like my life to kind of go a lot. Yeah, it's a thing. Anyway, I'm waffling now, which is what always happens, and I've waffled long enough, so I will leave it there. I might do a giveaway on my next video. I was asked by somebody in the comments of the last video if I sell my fabric, my hand-dyed fabric, and I don't, because I don't do, it's like not something I've thought of, and it's always just been very oh, I'll have a bash at that and see how it turns out. It's just a spur of the moment thing generally when I've done it, so yeah. But what I was thinking was I might do, because I've got quite a lot of the different colours and things, I might do a little giveaway in my next video where I'll maybe do 2 or 3 pieces of fabric in various colours, and if you want to enter, you can enter, maybe. So yeah, that's for next month. So, well, next video. So I better make a note of that for myself anyway. So while I make that note, I will press stop and then get this uploaded. So I will catch up with you in 2 weeks' time, and I hope that you all have oodles of time for oodles of stitching and you get all the stuff done that you want to get done, and that everything is just going along wonderfully in your part of the world. Okie dokie. Bye bye.